My name is Sarah Whitmore, and I always thought I was the strongest pillar in my family. Until the morning I handed my brother the legal papers to the house, he tried to quietly steal from me and watched his pregnant wife's face drain of color as movers carried out the bed she had already claimed as hers. I said nothing. I simply picked up my tea, walked past their stunned silence, and let the sound of disbelief echo behind me. But that moment did not come easily. It was earned through weeks of erasure, betrayal, and a silence that nearly broke me. Before all of that, there was a time when I still believed loyalty would protect me. It began on an ordinary Sunday morning. Sunlight spilled gently into the kitchen, warming the counter where my mug rested. I had barely taken my first sip when my older brother, Daniel Whitmore, walked in with a confidence that felt rehearsed. His wife, Lena, followed closely behind him, one hand resting protectively on her belly, though she was only a few months pregnant. "Sarah," Daniel said casually, "we're going to need your room." I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke, but his expression didn't change. He explained it like a decision already made. The baby needed space, stairs were inconvenient. Our parents agreed it was time I adjusted. I had stayed in this house after college when everyone else left. I had paid bills when my father's health failed. I had handled repairs, groceries, and mortgage payments while Daniel traveled and Lena bounced between jobs. Yet suddenly, I was being treated like a temporary guest in my own life. My mother avoided my eyes, my father called it compromise, and Daniel dismissed my shock as overreaction. Something inside me didn't shatter loudly, it tore quietly. That night, I locked myself in my room, clinging to the only comfort I had left, my cat, Oliver. I thought privacy would at least be respected. I was wrong. Lena walked in without permission, holding my ruined jeans, smiling apologetically. She had washed them to help. Designer denim I had bought with my own money was now stiff and faded. When I asked her to stop touching my things, she laughed it off and casually mentioned repainting the room for the baby. That was when I realized this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a takeover. The next morning, my livelihood was destroyed. Lena spilled coffee all over it while checking something. Years of work vanished in seconds. When I demanded accountability, I was told it was just a computer. I was scolded for leaving my belongings in shared spaces. My work, my time, my life, none of it mattered. I went for a walk to breathe, to think, to survive the weight in my chest. When I returned, my belongings were stacked near the basement door. They had moved me out, boxes filled with my clothes, books, and memories sat beneath exposed pipes and concrete walls. Daniel was already lounging on my bed upstairs. Lena suggested maybe it would be better if I left the house entirely. That was the moment something shifted. The house was not theirs, it never had been. 2 years earlier, during my father's recovery, he had signed the deed over to me. I was the one paying everything, they didn't know. And their ignorance became my shield. I said nothing. I moved into the basement quietly. I let them believe they had won. That night, laughter echoed from upstairs while I sat among boxes and dust. Oliver curled against me. My father brought down a cold plate of food and told me to give them time. I realized then that my silence had always been mistaken for consent. The following morning, I woke to the basement door locked from the outside. Hours passed, no one came. When Lena finally opened it, she smiled sweetly and said they thought I needed space to decompress. That was not kindness, that was control. By then, my decision was already forming. I gathered my documents, bank records, legal files. The deed with my name printed clearly at the top. I overheard Daniel and Lena discussing plans to transfer ownership once I left, assuming the house still belonged to our parents. They were wrong. I met with a realtor quietly, prepared the sale. Discovered my parents had taken a loan against my house without telling me. Even that betrayal didn't stop me. It only confirmed what I already knew. I moved out peacefully. I cried once, hard and honest, in my new empty apartment. Then I stopped. 3 days later, I returned with a moving truck. The movers worked quickly, furniture disappeared piece by piece. Lena screamed, Daniel demanded answers. I handed him the deed, his face drained of color. My parents arrived too late. I told them the truth calmly. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't insult them. I simply reclaimed what was mine. I left them a smaller house nearby, paid for a year in advance. Not out of guilt but closure, I drove away without looking back. Weeks later, I moved to a quieter city, a smaller apartment, just me and Oliver. Peace replaced noise, silence replaced fear. 1 year later, I stopped outside a bookstore and saw my name on a cover. Home is Boundaries by Sarah Whitmore. I smiled softly, not because I won, but because I finally understood that choosing yourself is not abandonment, it is survival. And sometimes, the strongest home you build is the one no one else can enter without your permission.